All right. Hello, everybody. Let's try keep this one short and sweet. Uh, why are whiteboards so amazing? Because they're remarkable. Okay. Laugh at my jokes, please. Like and subscribe. Um, okay, today we are talking about linear relationships. It's going to be a new topic. Okay, now linear relationships, we're going to be covering things like straight line graphs, which is what we're going to do today. We'll also be kind of at this point covering like gradient, y-intercept, y equals mx plus c, direct variation, linear modeling. That's all to do with linear relationships. Now, if you only remember one thing from linear relationships, it's this. We're talking about straight line graphs. Okay, so a straight line graph, linear is just a fancy word to say it's straight. It's not a curve, it's not bendy, it's just a dead straight line. Okay, so straight line graphs, what are they for? They represent a relationship between two variables. Okay, now why do we want to do that is because graphs help us to make accurate predictions. They help us also to see some trends. It gives us a little bit of insight into the data. Okay, now a couple things here. If you were to draw a line, there's a couple things that you kind of need to know just off the top. So independent variable is just a fancy way to say this is going to be your x-axis and your dependent variable is your y-axis. Now, if you forget, the easiest way to remember is y to the sky. So that means your vertical, that's your y's, and your horizontals are your x's. Okay, so y to the sky. So you've got your independent and dependent. Now, normally it's x and y. We'll deal a lot with x and y. But as long as we kind of remember that your independent is always going to be x and your dependent is always going to be y, that's going to help you to figure out which way you put your axes. Okay, kind of important. Now, real quick, if you want to plot some points here, if I've got -1, -2, I go -1 to the left, -2 down. That's my first point. Right, if I've got 0, 0, then that's 0, 0. If I've got +1, +2, that's positive. You always go x first and then y. Okay, it's always x and then y. Right, and you can kind of see here that I'm actually building a bit of a straight line. And if I drew a line straight through, if I've done all these ones correctly, I should have a dead straight line. And that's it. That's what this topic's about. Now, let's talk about drawing a graph. I'm going to give you a couple basic principles or a couple rules to kind of follow to help make your life a little bit easier. First things first, whenever you want to draw a graph, you want to find your relationship or your rule between your variables. Once you do that, you want to fill out something called a table of values, which I'll show you how to do. And then draw a Cartesian plane, which is kind of this thing that we drew up here, like just the X and Y graph. And we want to label axes. And this is the important part. We need scale. Okay. And then we want to plot our points and then sketch a line through it. So hiring an Uber costs $5 booking fee and $2.50 per kilometer traveled. We want to sketch a graph of something that shows this. So what is your dependent variable? So in other words, we're going to draw a little bit of a table of values here. So table of values, you're going to need some sort of X, some sort of Y. Now in this case here, my independent, okay, I know that I'm working here with either, and I'll see if I can do this. I'm either working with dollars or kilometers. Now the part that I guess is my independent, it's the thing that kind of I change, is the kilometers. So that's going to be up here. And then the thing that gets changed due to it is the dollars. So the more that the way that I think about it is the further the distance, the further the kilometers, the more I'll have to pay. So that means the dollars is affected. So let's do a couple ones here. Let's go 0, maybe, yeah, we'll go 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. So you can pick generally whatever numbers would be relevant. So I think that is fairly relevant. Now, in some questions, they'll give you the top row and all you have to do is fill out the bottom row. So we want to find the relationship. And so let's try to figure it out here. Even if I got 0 kilometers, but I booked an Uber, there's a $5 booking fee. So immediately I have to pay $5. Okay, now if it's 2 kilometers, that means I have paid another $5. And so now this would be $10. And then if I travel another 2, that would be another $5. Oh, sorry, but another $5. Yeah, 15. And you can kind of see here, I'm just going up by 5s every time. Okay, now hopefully that was making sense. So once you do that, let's draw a Cartesian plane. We'll label the axes and we'll give it a scale as well. Now we can see here that I don't really need anything more than this. So let's try to figure out here. Now remember, your X is always going to be your horizontal and your dependent is going to be your Y. Okay, so I've labeled my axes and now I want to give it a scale. Okay, here I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8. Right, so I've got my 0 here, and then up, it looks like I'm going up by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, okay, we'll fit. That's 5, that's 10, 15, 20, and then 25's up here. Okay, so, and all we need to do now is we plot it. So that means for every 0 kilometers, I have to pay $5. For 2, I'll have to pay 10. For 4, I'll have to pay 15. And for 6, I'll have to pay 20. Oh man. Oh no. I'm gonna do it. All right, and 8, I'll have to pay 25. Now, of course, if you do this, please do me a favor. Try and do your table of values a little bit separately, but now I can draw a line that looks like this. And that's it. There it is. So if I really wanted to, you could ask a question on this and you could say, or part B is, how much is the fare for $5? Oh, for 5 kilometers, whoops. Okay, so 5 kilometers. And so for here, all I need to do is, okay, I look, 5 kilometers would be somewhere here. I draw the line up and I can see that it would cut around there. Now what's between 15 and 20? I know that would be $17.50. That's halfway between 15 and 20. So that there's an example of what we can do. And I hope that makes sense. Have fun and I'll see you later. All right, bye-bye.